Who'd have thought that we'd finally get something so exciting to see from the Predator franchise as Prey, the new film that's been released on streaming? Let's talk about it. Hi, my name's Drew and welcome to another review video on Flying Wiener. Now if you haven't heard about it, but if you're, I don't know, on social media or other places, if you're following sort of the action film sphere, I'll call it, you will probably have heard about Prey. It's a very, very new film that was released on streaming. In America it's being distributed on Hulu, which is not available in Austria. Here it is all done through Disney+, so that is how I've got access to the film. And yes, it's been very, very popular. It's critically acclaimed at this point, so the majority of critics definitely enjoy it. And I must say I will count myself among those people because it is a really, really good film. It's, now to me, the Predator franchise, it's something that I really, really like. I mean, just when you think about it, even on the surface, the Predator in and of itself is just such a brilliant concept. You know, it's not just a standard monster. I mean, Alien is great as well, don't get me wrong. I mean, also among the best monsters created for cinema. But there's something about the Predator that I just really like. It's not just because he's a huge imposing figure, you know, physically capable. It's just something I really, really like, and it speaks to me about this creature that comes from outer space and has this, I'll call, sort of noble code of honor. It's, you know, it's a hunter, and it enjoys the hunt, and it respects strong opponents and their capabilities, and that's something that I feel is really cool and unique. You know, it's just not just a monster that's just bloodthirsty and trying to kill everyone. No, there's a certain method to the whole thing. And also, of course, what makes it very, very interesting for us is it is superior in just about any way, not just physically, but also technologically, because you've got obviously the invisibility cloak, you've got the infrared sensors, you've got, you know, advanced weaponry with shields and weapons that fire and all sorts of things. So, I mean, just the combination of it, I just feel it's one of the best monsters created for cinema. That's my opinion anyway. Now, the Predator franchise has been very up and down, of course. I mean, I believe if you like Predator, then pretty much everyone will love the classic 80s film. I must say, it still is my favourite. There's just something about it, you know, with the group of soldiers who are making really, really ridiculous comments to each other, and, you know, just their talk and just their banter that goes on. And at the same time, you know, Schwarzenegger in probably his prime going up a bit against this big beast in the final battle. It is really just cool, and of course a lot of practical effects too. But I will say that Prey does come pretty close to being the same. I really, really enjoy it. The last film I enjoyed a lot in the Predator franchise was Predators, which I believe came out in 2010, which was, among others, with Adrian Brody, who I really like, and I thought it was a very good film. I thought it was well conceived as well. Unfortunately, nothing much happened since then. I haven't seen the one that came out in 2018, was it? I haven't seen that yet. I might get round to doing that at some point as well, which I believe is quite an enjoyable film in the sense of, you know, just hilarious, actiony gore and stuff like that, but not really, you know, a good film in the universal sense. But I'll get around to seeing it eventually. And I will admit I've got a kind of soft spot in my heart for Alien vs Predator, but you must imagine that when that came out I was a teenager, and, you know, it's just a perfect thing for teenagers. You've got a mash-up film, you've got aliens, you've got predators, humans are thrown somewhere in between, and you've got this, you know, duking it out. That's a kind of teenager thing, isn't it? You know, thinking about who's going to beat who if you put certain things up against each other. Are very nerdy as well, of course, but particularly teenagers, especially when it comes to action. So, like I say, I know that film, when it comes to plot, etc., it's basically got zero of it, but I just loved it. I thought it was cool back then, and even nowadays, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I'm sure it'd still put a grin on my face just because the concept is really cool. Now, enough about the franchise itself. Let's talk about Prey, the film that we're actually here for today. Now, it's set in the 1700s, so this is very, very early USA. We're in North America, we're back 3 centuries, and the film is actually focused on a Comanche tribe, an Indian tribe, which I feel is a very cool concept. So obviously all the Predator films we've seen today, it's all been dealing with modern life, modern day weapons and all these things. So it's pretty cool to go back a few hundred years, because that is something that is established, that these predators, they've been around for a while and they go out into the universe, the galaxy, to find some prey to hunt. And I like this, the design of the Predator itself is a bit different, so we can see that they also have very, very different looks. And I suppose they also evolved in certain ways, just like we do. And so we've got this Predator arriving in North America and yeah, just going on his hunt, first starting off with animals and gradually searching for bigger and bigger challenges, bigger prey to hunt. The Predator stumbles upon this Comanche tribe. Our main character, the person we're focused on, is a woman called Naru. She is played by Midthunder, which, by the way, is a really cool name. I will say that. And so she is in this Comanche tribe. We see from the start, I'll come back to that. From the start, we see that she trains just like the men do, you know, so she is a very, very skilled tracker. We are told this at the start. And so she, you know, she wants to go on the hunt and she wants to sort of earn her way into the warrior's way of the tribe. Her brother, who is very supportive of her, which is something that I really enjoyed in the film. You know, he explains that, well, you know, she has to go through this ritual where she has to hunt something that is at the same time hunting her. It seems that that is the sort of coming of age thing that they did. Whether historically accurate, I cannot comment on. I'm just saying that this is how it's set up in the film. So you'll forgive me if it's not accurate, but that's what it is about. And so while, you know, she's looking for a bear, basically, she stumbles upon the Predator, tries to warn everyone. That obviously doesn't go the way it should go. Then we also have some French soldiers that are involved here, colonists. And as you can probably imagine, the Predator just goes through everyone. You know, not just the French soldiers, but also the warriors in her tribe, you know, the ones that didn't want to take her on the hunt and all these things. They also, unfortunately, while putting up quite a good fight, still in the end are no match for the Predator, and so it's left up to her if she wants to, you know, protect her tribe. That's the basic plot. I mean, it's not really special. It's a Predator film, so what do you expect? You know, I won't tell you exactly about how it goes, of course, as per usual. Don't want to spoil. That's what it is about, basically. But you knew that already, I'm sure. So what is great about this film, it's very short, it's just an hour and a half, so we pretty much get stuck right into it. And while I appreciate that, it's an action film, we want to, you know, get to the the cool action, the fights and all that very quickly. I do feel that, for me at least, I would have enjoyed it more if we'd explored the tribe a bit more, you know, get to know some connections there. Outside of Naru and her brother and just some of the other men who are always hunting, we don't really get to see much of it. I would have enjoyed to see, you know, a bit more of their life and the connections there. Also, as I mentioned, you know, all the warriors in the tribe aren't really a big challenge for the Predator. When they die, nothing really happens about it. We don't really see the reaction of the tribe, so it's just glossed over. It's like, nah, we're here for the action. Forget the rest. Just forget it. You know. Again, while that's fine, I just myself would have enjoyed it just to see a bit more of that. But the action itself is great, and you get people on the internet commenting, oh, you know, how can a single American Indian woman take on the Predator? You know, we see her training her combat skills from the very start of the film. So it is quite silly to go, oh no, she couldn't have done that. Yes, very well. It's not someone who suddenly realizes, oh, they need to fight a Predator and then they start training. No, she's obviously been doing it all her life, and she has the same skills as the people in her tribe. She's just being underestimated, that's all. So yeah, I mean, those are just the typical comments. I get a feeling that nowadays, whenever there is just a female protagonist in a film that is, you know, focused on action, you always get these people coming out. But it's silly, because that's one of the things I loved about this film. It really reminded me of, obviously, Alien. I mean, you know, we've got Alien and Aliens. Probably more Aliens, because that's the more actiony one. But, you know, we have an 80s franchise that is even by now quite linked with the Predator through some mutual films. You know, where we've got a female protagonist who's a badass, and, you know, we've got it again, and it's great, you know. And like I said, I mean, Midthunder, she is amazing in this film. So she gets to do a lot. She's got a dog that she's got a very tight emotional relationship with, you know, so we've got some tense moments with the dog as well. But it's also the relationship with her brother and all these things. I just feel it's really good. So I don't feel it's like, you know, a woke story like everyone likes to call everything nowadays. It's just a really good action film which happens to have a female protagonist. That's all. So if you love the Predator franchise and you love action films and yeah, just anything about that, if you like, you know, seeing American Indians in film, this will be great for you as well, because I just really love the way it's all shown and portrayed. Again, I would have actually even wanted to see more of that, because I just, there's just something that feels just very great about the bond between all of them, and particularly the two siblings. I really enjoy that quite a lot. And the action is cool too. I like the methods that they found, you know, even without modern weaponry and stuff, technology, you know, there's still some really cool ways to fight the Predator if it does appear. Let's hope they're not real, because, you know, it's just crazy to think the devastation and the murder that just one of them can commit. If you think that there's a whole group of them, a whole battalion coming, you know, I mean, they could easily wipe out such big forces. Again, they are definitely one of my favourite monsters in the history of cinema. So this is definitely a very strong recommendation from me. It's actually quite a shame that it didn't appear in cinemas. I believe it would have looked pretty cool, because we get some lovely wide shots. The cinematography is really beautiful. Obviously all of it out in the wild, so forests, etc. And yeah, I just really like the look of the film as well. I hope we get to see a continuation in some form, or at least some more Predator films that really focus on what make the franchise good. You know, that's why you want to see one person up against the Predator, the overwhelming odds, and just, you know, using your brain and whatever tools you have available to you just to beat this big beast. That'll be all from me today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe. It is the best way to support this channel. Leave a comment down below on anything you have to say about this film, the Predator franchise, Alien vs Predator. If you hate that, let me know as well. Guilty pleasure, as I said. Anyway, any of that, all down in the comments below. I'll thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video on Flying Wiener. Take care.